What's up, man?
What's up?
How you in at work?
Got fired yesterday.
For real? I thought you had a day off yesterday.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to discuss a concerning topic that's been circulating: the layoffs of thousands of Americans and federal government workers.
I'm sorry, you're fired. Get out of here.
It's no secret that the IRS is being hit the hardest.
I'm not a guy who's going to run around blaming people. So I'm going to take responsibility for that. So if you want to fire me, go right ahead.
All right, Gene,
but I think
you're fired.
70,000 employees set to be laid off. Now, you might be wondering if this is a safe move for the people. Thank you for tuning into today's discussion. If you find this video helpful or informative, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more engaging content.
Yes, sir.
You're fired.
Now, the data here suggests from the U.S. Department of Labor that in the District of Columbia for the week ending February 8th, the unemployment claims in D.C. rose by 36% filings. Virginia increased by 12%, while Maryland saw a 5% dip. One analyst tells Fox 5 he believes this will be an impact throughout the regions as these layoffs go on. One federal worker told us he's already been informed that his job is on the line.
Town hall meeting, and I just want to tell you everything that was just discussed, because the last 30 minutes was the most depressing shit I've heard in a while. There are going to be more layoffs coming, and it doesn't matter your grade, it doesn't matter that you're over your probationary period, your job is on the line. And this is fucking scary, dude, because they announced that in some agencies they're going to be trying to cut it by 50%. And they didn't specify which agencies, but that is, depending on it, tens of thousands of people. And this is going to get to the point where the government's going to collapse. Because you pair that with, if these tax cuts go through and they only benefit the ultra wealthy, and they raise your taxes, they gut Medicaid, they do all of these things, there's not going to be enough revenue for the government to be sustainable. And honestly, red states are going to be decimated because they are welfare states, not only from the social programs and everything, but because blue states are overtaxed so that we give our money to red states to bail them out every year because they're not self-sufficient. Schedule F, which is through another executive order, reclassifies certain employees and strips them of their protections and rights. That is another tool that they're using for the reduction in force. So they're going to target people that are possibly affected by that, as well as newer employees, even if you're past your probationary period, when you already have your federal statute protections and your appeal rights and everything. But again, the party of criminals love to just steamroll over laws. They are getting rid of hundreds of field offices across the country. They're also simultaneously saying how the Treasury directive is going to basically be that people need to start returning to the office. The same offices they're getting rid of. Just it's a clown show, man. It is. How do you say that out loud? Hey, we're getting rid of the offices to get you back to the office. Dude, productivity is going to drop. You know, it's going to start a recession. People are going to be spending more money on childcare. They're going to be spending more money on their commute. Also, they can work on their laptop that they very well could do from home. Transit subsidies, taxes are going to rise and everything because as a part of a benefit for a federal employee, you get transit subsidies, you get child care subsidies, you get all these things. And Republicans better not shed a fucking tear, because that's your private sector benefits, is it not? Thought so. Democrats are doing absolutely nothing. Why is it always left to like 3 people like Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Bernie Sanders to just carry the weight of the entire Democrat Party? And yet simultaneously, those are all people nobody advocates for to like run for president. They always want some fucking deadbeat that's not doing anything, that's bought off and paid for by corporations. The same ones privatizing our government and stealing our jobs.
Funny as hell. And you fired. Fired.
IRS is laying off around 6,000 employees starting Thursday. These terminations target recent hires made under the Biden administration, which had bolstered the IRS with new funding and staff to improve taxpayer services. These layoffs also obviously come right in the middle of tax season. Former IRS officials and Democrats warn that this could lead to major disruptions, potentially delaying refunds and making it harder for Americans to get help with their taxes. Trump's hand-picked IRS chief, who's former Republican Congressman Billy really long, he's openly suggested eliminating the IRS altogether. This is a stark reversal from the progress made under Biden. Listen, I know the IRS is not the most popular agency and nobody likes taxes, but thanks to the increased IRS hiring, taxpayer wait times dropped significantly from an average of 27 minutes under Trump's previous term to just 3 minutes last year. More staff meant faster refunds, better customer service, and stricter enforcement on wealthy tax cheats. I wonder why they'd want to get rid of that. Now, with Trump gutting the agency, experts say the tax filing process could become a nightmare again, especially for working and middle-class Americans who rely on timely tax returns. For now, taxpayers should prepare for long delays and fewer available IRS agents. That's the latest news we have right now. Remember to follow us for more and add the Midas Touch podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
So, I just got laid off from my writing job. And I wanted to make this video to just warn everybody about what's coming and what they can expect to see, even if you don't work a similar job to me. So I was a writer for a local news site, and I was getting paid pretty decently well. You know, I wasn't like rich, but it definitely like paid the bills. And I just got out of a meeting where I was told that I would no longer be needed, that my services would no longer be needed. And they didn't give me the exact reasoning. They were really vague about it at first, but I asked some of my old coworkers about what happened, and they said it's because they started implementing new AI services. And at first I was like, that's really weird, because I feel like most people would be able to tell it's AI, you know, like they wouldn't want to read it. But after looking through some of the stuff they've already generated, I realized that like damn, they're kind of right. Like it's a lot cheaper and faster to have AI generate something for you than to pay me to go write stuff for you. And it made me realize, like, I'm kind of lucky, actually. I got to experience this, like, first, which it sounds weird to be like, oh, that's lucky, but
he goes, I'm lucky.
I used to have, like, a lot to do in a week. I would have different articles to either start writing or have to edit someone else's article, and I was always on my feet. And then for the past like 2 weeks, it started slowing down a lot. There was days when I almost got nothing. And that's when I started getting like red flags. Like there was some alarms raising in my head, because I was like, this is weird, because they usually have me always working. And just today, I hopped onto a meeting with my manager, and I didn't think much about it because I meet with my manager every week. And I was just thought it was going to be like every weekly meeting, and I was going to ask them like, hey, like, what's up? You guys don't have me doing that much work. Like, is there anything else you need me to do? And that's when they told me like, hey, you're not gonna be able to work here anymore. And I asked why, and they gave a really vague answer. They said that they just were not needing, they kept repeating like, we're not in need of your services anymore. We're not in need of your position anymore. So it was not really like, I mean, I wasn't fired, I was laid off. So it was like a position termination. But one thing that pisses me off is they couldn't tell me straight up, you know? I think it would have been a lot more respectful to just tell me, hey, the reason your position is getting terminated isn't because you lack skills, it's because we're moving to AI.
Craig, what you doing? Nothing. Day, huh? Is this your cousin? Yeah, it's my cousin. Good. Then you fired. Who, me? Breaking news per ABC, the Trump administration will begin layoffs in the IRS starting tomorrow. Now listen, I know a lot of us don't like the IRS, but if you haven't got your taxes back, it's probably gonna be a hell of a delay now, bitch. You might as well wait till mid to late June to get your shit.
The Trump administration's latest plans to cut government waste could impact how a lot of people file their taxes.
The Elon Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is trying to access troves of sensitive taxpayer data at the IRS. The Associated Press is reporting that DOGE is trying to access a data retrieval system which gives IRS employees instantaneous visual access to people's accounts, including personal information and bank records, creating potential privacy concerns that certain taxpayers could be targeted. IRS employees also telling the AP the agency plans to lay off thousands of probationary workers in the middle of tax season as soon as this week, after employees were previously told they would not be let go or be allowed to accept a buyout offer from the Trump administration. The changes at the IRS have raised concerns about how quickly the agency can process returns and issue refunds.
I'm sitting here. I don't want to cry, but I feel like the tears are going to start rolling. But I just got an email from a manager telling me to come into the office tomorrow and bring all my government issue equipment. So I'm thinking that they laid me off. I've been working with the IRS for a couple months now, and I just don't understand how this is legal. I have a daughter, I have responsibilities, I have bills, and he just comes and lays people off. How does he sleep at night knowing that he's taking income away from so many families?
It is February 19th, 2025, and it looks like the IRS, who employs 100,000 folks, will be laying off 6,700 employees this Thursday. This comes obviously as the federal government continues to lay off more and more people. It's said that at least 1,000 of those layoffs will happen out of the Kansas City office. Again, these are not remote folks. These are not people who are working remotely. These are people who work out of an office in Kansas City. Because the federal government, the IRS and other agencies, they have offices all over the country. So it's not that there are all federal jobs out of DC. There are federal jobs that are out of offices all over the country. So this is not just impacting the DC area, this is impacting other areas, just like all the layoffs are. But stay tuned, and hopefully these layoffs start slowing down soon, because this is a lot of people.
Boom, I wanted to thank you.
Fired.
I beg your pardon?
Fired.
But I...
Seen the news that 15,000 employees in the IRS could be fired this week. And the thing about the IRS is, I have this thing with the IRS. I never liked, of course, I don't think any American really likes the IRS. I mean, it was the IRS who kind of ruined Joe Louis's life. I mean, if you know Joe Louis, that was a legendary boxer. He owed the IRS until the day he died. You know what I'm saying? He only had a comfortable living because most of his celebrity friends took care of him. You know what I'm saying? Throughout his senior life. And even him, it's like he went from owing the IRS for $1 million to, I think, $15 million towards the end of his life. And it was kind of crazy. Even James Brown, James Brown had a crazy tax bill. I mean, this was the hardest working man in show business. Like, he went to Vietnam, to entertain the soldiers. I'm saying he did a lot of benefit concerts for the country, and they still hit him with a crazy tax bill. So it's like, I have a hate thing for the IRS, kind of. But I don't agree with that much employees being laid off, even if it is a government agency. I really, really don't. I mean, I do applaud the fact that, yes, we do need to audit the IRS and their practices, because they, like I said, they ruined a lot of American lives, man. I mean, there's people that work their ass off to think that they're ahead in the game, to eventually now you get a crazy tax bill that just F's your whole life over, and it's kind of crazy. But yeah, man, like I definitely don't agree with that much people being laid off. I mean, we have enough people out of jobs already, so there definitely has to be another wave. So that's one thing I hope the administration that's in charge today can figure out, because that's just...
Tammy, I'm terminating your employment at Topper Tracks.
You've got to be shitting me.
No, I'm...
Nah,
I got a random meeting on the calendar. I hope we're not getting fired. I will die. Someone else is in there. I'm getting fired. Oh my god, I'm getting fired. Hello.
Good morning, Edgar.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I asked, who I think you know, to join us for this call. She is our HR representative. We've got some updates we'd like to share with you this morning.
Okay.
While we originally believed that we would be integrating, we've instead determined that it was best for us to refocus the agency. Unfortunately, as you may know, the lack of growth and the decline in our client revenue has negatively impacted our business beyond what we can sustain. And it's forced us to make what are very difficult decisions to eliminate roles within the agency. And this includes the elimination of your role, making today the last day. Please know that it was a very difficult decision.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather. I wish you the best.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Thanks.